Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of 343 on Sportycast. It's me, Ziad Parker, hosting today after that fantastic win for Arsenal in North London Derby. For episode 85, I'm joined by AF. Welcome, AF.
How's it, man? Good to have you back at the helm. It's been a while since I've been on an episode and you hosted, so yeah, it's a nice throwback there for us.
Yeah, Leka, just be ready for some speed bumps here because we're gonna be rocking the boat. And speaking of rocking the
Wait,
boat, Jason Ronnie, my man, how's it going?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. A good North London derby win for the boys. And yeah, I think we must change this episode title. Maybe it should be the winner's circle, the winner's triangle. We're all
Yeah,
a bunch
it's
of
been a
United
been a
finally
long
came to
time
the
since we
party.
could add them.
Yeah.
Exactly. So good to have you guys here. We're gonna get straight in. Just looking back at the weekend, obviously, a couple of results we'll talk about. And before we hand over to AF, there's talk on the streets that United are back. AF, is that true? I've seen that Idris Elba meme around. Put the word out. So are you on that trail of thought as well?
no chance at all. Like I'm happy. I'm happy about the goals. I'm happy about the wins. I'm happy about the 2 clean sheets. But let's be real here. Against a team that's 2 leagues or 2 tiers below United, down in League One. That's Barnsley. But yeah, I'm happy that they managed to score the goals because you still have to score those goals. And it was an emphatic win, and yeah, it's a confidence booster. That's all that I care about right now. Just get the good vibes in the players.
Yeah, so good vibes all around Old Trafford, it seems. They had a special guest last night also. Mr. Mubin Modak was in the house for the win. Jason, for you, North London Derby, how are you feeling after that uh, epic performance?
It was good. I think we to come out there with a win, with a clean sheet, with out two of our strongest players. I think it was good. I think we set up to win in a way that we don't normally set up to play and win. So yeah, it is good. It's a testament to the sort of tactical acumen that Mikel Arteta has and that Arsenal showing over the last few years.
Yeah, and I mean, talking to our colleague Riaz last week, he wasn't uh, too confident. He said that Spurs play good football everywhere except in their own box and in the opposition box, and that sadly proved to be true for him because they control possession. I mean, 60+% of possession, but they couldn't do anything with it. So he also had it spot on. For you, what do you think of the situation at Spurs? Is it going to get better or is it going to get worse over the next couple of weeks?
Nah, like I watched the game over the weekend, and there there wasn't really anything that I think they should be concerned about as a team. I think that they're still in a building phase with Ange. Last season, you could see that when it was good, it was really, really good. But he has his sort of philosophy. That game, I think it was against Chelsea last season, where they just got absolutely mauled. And that's because he didn't want to change the way they play. And
Mm.
it's things like that that he's probably going to look at and try to make sure that when he goes up against certain teams, he doesn't leak all of those goals. And he needs to find a sweet spot between that and actually converting their chances as well. So
Yeah.
being a bit more brave, um, not really parking the bus. Like I feel like on Sunday there were a lot of moments where it felt like he was parking the bus, and then like Riaz said last week, in the middle of the park they look good, but it's in the first third and the final third they look a bit iffy,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
most
think that's
a hectic stalemate, because we also sat quite deep and we're happy for them to have the ball. So you got one bus on the one side and another bus on the other side, and no way to
Yeah.
get in between. It's like, listen, you guys take the ball, we want to counter. Nah, it's okay, you keep it, man. We'll counter.
yeah. There was a lot of caginess in the match, and I mean, like you guys can
Yeah.
admit as well, it wasn't Arsenal's greatest performance. Um, and it just shows like even on your bad days you can still get like grind out the victory somehow,
Yeah.
and that's going to come into play hopefully by the end of the season.
Yeah, it's all good. Very happy to go away like that and pick up a win. We won't talk too much about that. We'll come back a bit later when we look ahead. Couple of other, obviously, the big surprise of the weekend was Forest beating Liverpool. Jason, your thoughts on the slot machine, as some people and media outlets are calling it?
Yeah, I think the first three games that they had, it was almost I don't think it was going to prove real competition, and that's with all respect to like Man United and just where they are currently under Ten Hag. You're coming up against a Forest team that's just like they just going to scrap. And while Gravenberg had a lot of time in those other games, he's coming up against guys that are they just there to fight for that 1 point, and they actually got three. So I don't think they played any different to how they were normally playing. Just they were coming up a team that was a bit more resolute.
Yeah, I think
But
that's just a hiccup, but nothing major. I think they'll carry on.
yeah, no,
I mean, we
no,
saw
it's
last night against Milan after they conceded early, they banged in 3 goals and they could have easily had more.
no 100%, and it's just gonna be there'll be more speed bumps as teams sort of figure out how Liverpool's new intended style is actually meant to be played out. I think teams will then set up to almost counteract that fluid midfield and actually force a lot of the emphasis on that front three, which let's see if they can actually perform and actually deliver.
Yeah, another notable result, Chelsea scraping through at the end there with Jadon Sancho coming on and setting up Nkunku. AF, do you think Jackson's time is numbered up front and Nkunku could replace him? Or will Chelsea stick with Nico Jackson?
I think Nicholas Jackson is the logical choice for me up front. For me, Nkunku works best off the left wing, but now with Jadon Sancho there, that throws a bit of a span in the works. But yeah, like Mariska has a gazillion players, so he's going to find a way somehow to incorporate all of them. And we said, or you guys spoke about it on last week's episode, where uh, Cole Palmer and a couple of guys weren't included in the Conference League. So he's probably going to have a squad of players for each of the different cup or competition that they're partaking in. And that's how he's going to get happiness at the end of it all. But yeah, just on that result, Bournemouth played really well, eh?
Yeah.
And they deserved something from that game. They were extremely unlucky not to even go home with a point.
That's how it goes, man. The margins, right? The teams generally lower down the table when they get their chances. They don't put it away. It normally comes
Yeah.
back to haunt them, especially when you're fighting, the relegation battles and so on. It's the goals that matter. So we'll see if they can turn it around. Obviously, losing Solanke was big for them. It's not like Solanke is scoring at Spurs yet, but I think once he hits in one, he's gonna hit in quite a few, and the floodgates are going to open for him because he is a pretty good striker. But we'll leave that game week in the past and look ahead. I think there's only one game coming up this week, and that's City and Arsenal. So yeah, looking
Jason
ahead.
looks ready. Jason
Of
looks
course,
ready.
I mean it's a top of the log clash. And everything's been building up to it. And I think look, Arsenal obviously played Spurs away, and now they got City. It's tough, but Declan Rice will be back. Probably be the only change to the squad if everyone's fit. Obviously, have to get through Atalanta tonight. But Jason, your thoughts going into this match after the North London derby?
I think it's a good place for us to go. I mean, it's never a good place, but we're in a good space having overcome that hiccup of not having Declan Rice, Odegaard with us last week Sunday to actually go to City. And I think if we set up in the similar vein and we either catch them on the counter or we sort of going to catch them by a corner, similar to the Spurs, I'm not going to be mad. I think in recent times we've gone and we've got absolutely spanked. So how we win, I don't care really. It's not about going toe to toe. If we're not in a position to fully go toe to toe and we're not feeling comfortable, I don't care. Scrappy 1-0 win is all I'm after. I don't a dodge call for our team, not for City, which is probably going to happen if it's Michael Oliver refereeing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm feeling in a moderately decent space. Yeah, so let's see how it goes. I think Brentford also might have knocked them a little bit. They have Inter Milan this evening. We have Atalanta tomorrow. So yeah, I think both teams have a decent fixture, and they'll then come into the Sunday game with something to play for naturally.
Yeah, I mean, look, both teams obviously gonna have to play with whatever momentum they can generate with these midweek fixtures. City seem to have fairly full squad, fit squad, whereas Arsenal have obviously the big cloud hanging over Erdegaard. I don't think he's gonna play. I think Arteta
Mm.
is trying to do some Rassi Erasmus level mind games, saying the man's gone on multiple scans. They don't know how bad it is. Is he gonna play? What? I don't think he's gonna play anytime soon. But yeah, some mind games they are throwing in there. But if both teams get through with a clean bill of health, City do kind of have a bit of an advantage, you'd
Yeah,
say, because they've got that extra day of rest. Whereas
yeah.
Arsenal play Thursday night, like you say, and then the game's on Sunday. So, with all things considered, AF, how you looking at the game? Speaking on behalf of Manchester.
Speaking as a neutral, I'm I'm just gonna take a quick step back to Odegaard again, and like I'm just gonna speak about a couple of moments from the North London derby and that free flowing football that we used to watching from Arsenal. You could see that something was missing. You could see that there was like a void in the middle of the park for Arsenal, and that's basically based on Odegaard not being there. So it's going to be interesting to see how Arteta tries to like shift it around again. I don't think Trossard was the answer for a lot of the game last weekend. I feel like um, I forgot that he was even playing. I forgot that he was even on the field because he wasn't really making his presence felt, and you can't do that against Manchester City. So Arteta is definitely going to shuffle something around over there. And maybe even bringing Martinelli to the middle instead and putting Trossard back onto the wing. But yeah, like I'm really hoping that Arsenal get something out of this game, especially during this moment for Manchester City with the court hearing currently going on. There's a lot of there's a huge spotlight on the club, and you never know, things like this could affect players' minds. It could affect, oh, am I still going to be here at the end of the season?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like I mean, this is one of the best times for you guys to play against Manchester City, because you can pounce on them.
Speaking of the court hearing, who do you think has a bigger squad, City and their lawyers or Chelsea?
Probably City and the Lois, isn't it?
I think it's about even, eh? I think it's about even.
Yes, and I think they pull the world's all the top lawyers in the world together
Harvey Specter's coming
into
in there
one
as well,
space.
apparently.
You reckon? And
Yeah,
Mike Ross, they need
Mike
those
Ross,
guys. Yeah,
Lewis, the whole of
I
Pearson.
I I, uh, I think we'll leave the City court situation until it gets resolved, which will probably only be in the new year. Don't
Yeah,
want to speculate too much about how nothing's gonna happen to them or something or whatever the case is. Let's
yeah,
let's see how it plays out. It's not like there's much faith in the Premier League and their structures and processes.
yeah.
But we'll leave it at that. We're gonna move on into predictions for the game. Starting with we'll start with you, AF. What are your score predictions?
I'm gonna be optimistic and go for a 2-1 Arsenal win.
Okay,
And
interesting.
yeah, I think uh, Ireland hasn't scored against a top six side yet, eh?
See now, no, now this guy wants to manifest stuff
Chelsea.
here.
You scored
Are
against
they
Chelsea.
top six?
Are we talking about traditional top six? Because I mean, if you do tradition,
I'm
it's
I'm
top
taking
four.
I'm taking the piss, bro.
Um, he hasn't scored against Arsenal in, I think it's maybe, that's probably been a season and a half. Um, but yeah, Haaland's Haaland, bro. Haaland was on
Yeah,
for a third hat trick, a third consecutive hat trick last week. So I don't put anything past him. Um,
I'm just trying to manifest this, bro. Like, I mean, that's personally from my FPL team. Like, I don't have the guy. I'm never gonna gonna transfer him this season. So just blank him. Just close that garage door and shut it tight. Don't allow him to score. Done.
If only. We shall see how it plays out. Jason, your score prediction?
Score prediction. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 Arsenal as well.
Your consistency there. Um, interesting. 2-1 Arsenal. So both of you say 2-1. Do you think who's gonna score first?
Ooh.
I think Arsenal scores, City equalizes, Arsenal gets the winner in like the last 15 minutes or so.
Okay, that's gonna
Glimpse.
take a lot of mental fortitude.
Yeah. No, I think City score first, and then I think Arsenal show some
Yeah, even more.
resolution. Yeah. No, it's fine. Look,
I'll be controversial here. I'm gonna go 0-0. KG
Ooh,
affair. David
KG,
Raya to be man of the match.
bonus points, easy. Um,
Easy.
yeah.
That's
No,
where I'm going.
KG.
So I'm going draw. Either 1-0 or 0-0. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 0-0, especially knowing he's gonna set up very tight, very compact.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're talking about Trossard and replacing him with whoever. I think the strategy is just get someone in who can win a corner and then take it from there.
Yeah.
The whole strategy is not to even get shots on target. It's like
Yeah.
we'll create a situation in the corner where we win a corner and then we'll try to score with our defenders. And last week I
1v1.
called it. I said Saliba, but I
Yeah,
should have actually gone with Gabriel.
Is
yeah,
this
Gabriel's
the games?
got
Sorry,
that. Eh?
Jason, you can go. You can
No, I
go.
was gonna say Gabriel's got a knack for like popping up with that away goal bomba, as I
Yeah, did
like
you
to call
see
it.
his wife posted all his man of the match trophies from all the big games?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's solid. Interesting guy.
So, somebody said that he's not even the best Gabriel at Arsenal. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah,
No comment.
I think it's up.
So this game's at the Etihad, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the battle of the airlines.
Yeah.
you the know.
The UAE. Like maybe you can get some first class ticket in there.
My
Watch it
Do you
bro,
live.
think
I'm
Arsenal
Lami
fly
here
one
in
of that
economy.
Emirates flights over like the Springbok? Maybe we should
My
try it.
bro, if Arteta is studying the people, he must study Russia
Nah, 100%.
because he can learn a thing or two from him. It'll be
He must
interesting.
leave
Okay.
fake text
L-
in the
uh-huh.
changing room also, man. Just let the opposition team read it. That's a
Yeah,
Russian tactic.
okay, so we're gonna move on. Obviously, there are other matches in the game week, but we're not focusing on any
Not
of
really.
that. So, if we didn't mention your team, we're sorry, and hopefully we'll get to your team next week. But something I wanted to talk about, and speaking of City, because Kevin De Bruyne was one of the players, Bernardo Silva was another one who came out in the media, and then recently Ellison, who have been talking about the players playing too many games and it's too hectic for them. The schedules are crazy. They don't have enough time off, and so on and so on and so on. At the end of the day, these guys get paid a lot of money. So, we'll start with you, Jason. What do you think about this whole situation about the number of games, the schedule, and so on? Do you have any thoughts, opinions on this?
I gave mine last week, right? And I'm standing by it. I don't think money should be the determining factor to why we're gonna run this Owens and their hamstrings off the field. I think it's become so commodified. There's so much money in football right now that they're trying to squeeze the very last ounce of energy out of all of these players. I don't think it's healthy. I
Yeah,
played less games than that and I was breaking down. Maybe because I wasn't earning anything. Um, but also it's just if you're looking at old not olden days, but back in the day you have guys and their longevity. It's because they
yeah,
were managed correctly. There's
yeah,
no matter how much science you have, you can't rely on that alone and say that you'll be able to recover. Like you're doing recovery on a flight home to prepare for the game in the next 2 days.
yeah, yeah.
Like I think you are gonna run the lifespan of a player is gonna be so much shorter, and we'll see a lot more guys getting big injuries sooner, or
Yeah,
them just finishing up early because of all of the knocks and all of the niggles and everything like that. That's
yeah. Or
I
go
think it
to other less stressful leagues and earn more money.
and just yeah.
Um, Look, I'll come back on a couple of things there, but before I do, AF, your thoughts on the situation? I mean, Bernardo Silva said they could be striking soon.
Yeah, I think Rodri spoke up
Oh, it's
as well.
Rodri, sorry, one of them.
Um, yeah, but I mean, like Jason, like he mentioned longevity, and I feel like that is the key word over here because we think 20 years ago with managers, with players getting called up for international duty, then the managers would say, oh no, they pulled up like a day before they have to fly out for that
Yeah,
international break just to protect them. Like, and that goes down to what you said about managing the players' playing time as well. So the managers
yeah,
took control of the situation as well. And yeah, I feel like if it keeps on going on like this, there's, I think, 70, 80 games, possible games in a calendar season now. So players are going to burn out. You're going to see player careers finishing at like 30, 31 years old, which is
yeah,
sad because a lot of the players that we are watching currently, they are exciting and we want to see more of them. So yeah, I really hope that they find some sort of solution. But you have guys like Enzo Maresca, he's ahead of the game, guys. He knows that his 40 players are going to be spread nicely across the season, getting about
yeah.
10 to 15 games per player. So he's happy.
Yeah, I mean, it is a challenge, and I don't know what the answer is. There's a obviously everyone has to meet in the middle somewhere. You need all the stakeholders to come together and figure it out. But at the end of the day, you have to consider everything. The more games that are on offer, the more money everyone can make. And the
Yeah.
players, I haven't heard one single player complaining about the amount of money they're getting paid. So ultimately, if you again, I try. It's terrible to do this, but try not to just look at it as a job, right? If you work less, you get paid less. Some people actually get paid more for working less because they drive up the value of what they're doing or the service they offer. So you have to look at it that way. And also just for all of us, right, we don't live in the UK, so we're not able to see these teams play league matches, Champions League, whatever the case is. But when there's a preseason tour, right? You go watch it knowing that you're not going to see the best players. And there's a lot of pressure from sponsors for these players to come on the tours, to play in
Yeah.
these games. And if you look at,
Yeah.
I mean, this can be a whole episode on its own, but if you look at ownership, almost every single team is owned by American owners. So you got to go pay your dues in whichever market you're looking to make the money from. So it is tough. I don't know what the answer is, but hopefully, it's an answer that works for everyone, where the fans get what they want, the players get better protection for their health, but also the money matches up, and everyone can be happy. Because at the end of the day, if you're gonna keep pushing like this, it's just greed, man. And like you say,
Yeah.
you're gonna squeeze the players dry, and we're not gonna actually get that quality that we want to see when we watch these games, because you don't want to see guys just lying on the floor, can't run anymore because they were on a or getting the flu on the plane like Christian Romero because they had
But
to
also,
fly.
like, from your point of view, I mean, you work in sports science, so you know how important muscle recovery is. Like with players playing like extremely hectic, intense games every second, third day. You're running for 90 minutes. You're probably clocking in about 10 to 15 kilometers per game or whatever, including warm ups and all of those things. So, I mean, to do that every second or third day, that muscle recovery is probably going to get you eventually.
Yeah, and then you end up taking shortcuts. You skip training and so on.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, they're either gonna have to make their squads bigger or they're gonna have to cut the amount of games down, and we'll see from there. So we'll put a bow on that, and as it develops, we'll keep an eye on it. So I just wanted to introduce a new segment. I'm gonna run some takes by you guys, and all I want you basically to consider is, are you buying or selling, right? So think of it as a stock or whatever the case is, and whatever take I give you, are you buying or selling? Okay, we're gonna go. We'll start with AF first, then we'll go to Jason, and then the next one we'll just switch. All good?
Perfect.
Good to go?
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
Okay, so the first one is Erling Haaland will top 40 goals in the Premier League this season. So only Premier League, not Champions League. The current record is 36 in one Premier League season, set by the man himself. If will he break his own record? You buying or selling?
I'm buying that. He's on
So you
9
reckon
already
he?
after 4 games. So
Yeah,
yeah,
if you do the math, which I just did quickly, he's on pace for almost 50, 60 plus goals, which is obviously
Mm.
unrealistic, but you know what I mean. Jason, what about you?
40 plus this season. Not buying. I don't think he'll. I think
Ooh.
he'll get very close to that 36 mark, but I think it's gonna dry up once all of the games start coming in thick and fast. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Next one. I'll start with you, Jason, because I want to see AF's expression to this one. Jaden Sancho will have more goal involvements over the season than Bruno Fernandes.
um, I'm also not buying that one. It's just because I think Sancho's not going to play as much as he thinks, and I think Bruno will.
Oh,
Bruno
he
can
didn't
be
have to play
very good.
much on the weekend.
Yeah, no, but I mean, how much of that is he going to be able to do every week?
you speak
Especially if,
about that. You speak about that.
especially if
Bruno,
Christopher Nkunku's not going to play every week because Nicholas Jackson's going to stay there. Yeah,
yeah,
so not buying it.
Oh, you're
yeah.
keeping your money
Last
tight
night,
there, nah? AF?
Bruno came on for like 25 minutes last night and just assisted twice. So that's
He
another
played
thing.
against Barnsley from
You still have to
Gleamore
do
here
it,
in
bro.
Belgravia.
You still have to do it, my man.
Oh, that it's
But
looking
I
quite
mean,
red under that blue cap, Jason? I think
they
I hit
they
a
would,
nerve there.
yeah, nah,
That's
100%.
just
That
that's
steam
just
is
the light
coming out
over
there.
here. That's just the light.
That steam is
Just a
coming out
lighting.
there.
Ay, 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 ay. Okay, let's go to the next one. 24-25 is the season that Everton finally get relegated. AF.
I'm buying. I'm buying it. I'm buying that.
Ew.
Jason,
I want to, and yes, I'm gonna buy it. Even though,
finally got you to spend some
yeah,
money.
even though I think Sean Dyche is a disaster day specialist. I think, yeah, this is the season that their luck unfortunately runs out.
Man, they just got so much going on, that the ownership
Yeah.
situation. I mean, they're going 2-0 up and still losing. Like, what on earth is going on
Twice.
there?
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice, exactly. So yeah, we're saying this is the season. Okay, next one. So it's you now, Jason, right?
Mhm.
The slot machine. I saw that somewhere and I really liked it. I think it was ESPN FC. They called it the slot machine, the well-oiled slot machine. Will falter after this loss against Forest and continue
Well,
to go down.
um, not buying. I think it's a speed bump. They'll have the speed bump maybe once every 5 or 6 games, but I don't think that they'll. Yeah, they have too much quality.
If
No, I'm not buying it. Like, I had this conversation with Nikita on Twitter. So if Nikita, if you're watching this, um, I still don't agree with you. I know that you're not a big fan of Slot, but I think he will come good, and he's going to surprise a lot of Liverpool fans.
Yeah, I actually think he's been doing okay, man. I like their team also. It's not too bad. Speaking of Liverpool, I got one more from Liverpool and then another one to round it out. So of the three players, the big three that are waiting for contract extension, so it's Trent, Alexander Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, and Mohamed Salah. Right? Those are the three players who are waiting for contract extensions. The one who will sign first. Actually, no, that's not what I meant. The one who will sign last or might end up leaving will be Virgil van Dijk. Buying or selling, AF.
I'm selling that. I think with Slot there, it's a countryman. I think he stays. He signs that contract.
Jason?
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it now. I
Contemplating life
think,
there now. Yeah.
yeah, I was just contemplating now to think about that thing. Nah, I think he's gonna stay. Yeah, so not buying.
So again, Jason not spending money. So on that note, of the three, which one do you think is most likely to leave, if any leave?
Probably
Alexander
Salah.
Arnold.
So Ayub says
I think
Salah, Jason says Trent.
I said Trent.
Interesting. Let's see how it plays out. Yeah, I reckon all three won't stay. I don't know which one will leave, but all three won't stay. And
Yeah.
lastly, just we have a cult hero that's slowly developing. He runs out in Aston Villa colors, comes on for a couple of minutes and scores screamers.
Mm.
Mr. John Duran. John Duran will score more goals than Ollie Watkins this season. Buy or sell.
If it's me, I'm buying that. 100%.
Okay,
Nah,
Yeah.
I'm not buying
interesting.
it. I'm not buying it. I think Ollie Watkins is like last weekend he opened his account, so the floodgates are open now.
Okay, let's see how that plays out. And that's the end of that segment. Let us know what you thought of it. And if you know any companies out there want to sponsor the segment, that would be a good opportunity. We can call it dot 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 hot takes, buy, sell, whatever you want to throw in there. Give us your company name and we'll put it up there. But yeah, lots
Yeah.
of fun, guys. Closing out here. It's almost it's getting a bit late. With the time difference, I got a bit confused there, thinking that the kickoff is going to happen for the Champions League games, but I was wrong. And I'm a day early because my team only plays tomorrow. Who would have thought, eh? We used to make fun of the teams for playing on a Thursday night.
Honestly,
Now we
bro.
have Champions League on a Thursday night.
And
It's
Yeah.
United plays
confusing.
next week
It's
Wednesday.
so
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yo, this
Amazing.
man is very excited. No? This Owens found a goal, but
Yeah.
next
It's
weekend
fine.
when
Let me enjoy it.
they draw, O's negative again. Uh,
Yeah.
Never mind next
what's
I
the
don't
week,
care.
man. Wait
I,
till Saturday, bro.
check here. I
Yo,
don't care. Let me enjoy it until then. I'm going to
let's see
yo,
savor
what
every
Ugarte
moment
out.
until then.
Ugarte 6.3 on Sofa Score ratings there, bro. But never mind next week, man. Worry about South London on Saturday, bro. Half past
Oh,
6. Your
Ollie
defense is in
Glasner, bruh.
trouble. Your
Ollie
defense is in
Yeah,
Glasner.
trouble. Nketiah's in the room.
he already opened his account midweek.
Easy
The
does it.
phone lines are open.
Mateta also scored last week,
Yo,
so that's also
yeah, and
guy's gonna tuck his
Mateta
shirt in
speak.
and just compose
But
himself.
now, check here one thing quickly, man. Like for our fantasy Premier League team,
Mm.
um, I think I said keep Bruno in, and then Jason said he had a good feeling about Eze. How did that work out, bro?
Um, I didn't, but
Look,
that's not to say.
let's not have a civil war here, guys. Man, we're all on
Yeah, no,
one
no,
team.
no, chill,
No, no, no,
chill.
no,
Look,
no civil war,
no,
man.
no, Mr. Host, if he wants to bring in FPL, let's ask him what his team is doing. If he wants to talk about a communal
I,
team,
Nah,
I
then
man.
let's talk civil war.
I'm
Anarchy.
gonna close with this. Right? I saw a fantastic tweet asking how are people called FPL experts? Because the majority of these FPL experts teams don't score.
yeah,
They
Yeah,
languishing. So are they really experts? And that's what it
yeah.
comes down to. We watch
they
all
just
the
got a
stuff.
following.
We follow them on social media. Like
Mm.
put this guy in, and everyone lost. Like, Eze.
Yeah,
Eze did nothing, man. And you can come with all the data and stuff. Like I mean, the
Yeah. All the
Semenyo of
underlying.
Bournemouth, he shoot the most or whatever. He shoot miss the most. I put him in. He did next. I got to worry with him, bruh, playing
Yeah,
Liverpool.
FPL,
And I'm like, what do I
FPL
do
is a
with
game of
Semenyo?
chance, man.
I could have rather put
yeah.
in Casta
FPL is,
Semenya.
FPL is a game of chance, man. But yeah,
It's all it's a gamble. It's a risk. Like you're
But
just
it's
gonna
fun,
have
man.
to deal with everything unless you have Haaland in your team. Then you know that you're
It's
guaranteed.
actually very easy this season. Just
Yeah,
captain Haaland until it doesn't work. If you're
set and
not
forget.
captaining him, yeah, it is kind of boring, but it is
Yeah,
what it is, man.
yeah,
And yeah, what else can you do? The machine will keep chugging, but maybe this weekend
yeah.
our
Maybe,
central
maybe
defenders
don't
will
captain
break him. or
Maybe don't
cause him to
captain him.
malfunction. So let's see what happens.
Y-
Maybe
You
you
know,
guys can thank us next week for short circuiting the alien.
yeah, no, like earlier on, you guys, or was it Jason that said David Raya bonus points? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your word for that, and I'm gonna put him as my keeper now. I don't know if that's
Okay.
a good
Good
or a
luck.
bad thing, but
I
Good
don't
luck to
know,
you.
bro.
I think I'm just gonna do it.
With your karma, I don't know. I don't know if I want it on my team, but okay, it's fine. It's fine with your blue Man City hat. Still,
Nah, I
Yeah,
think you should just go with Onana. Keep it simple. Man is
yeah.
saving penalties.
And so,
it's
honestly,
So
cool. It's
just
cool.
stick with your team.
It's cool. I have Mazraoui at the back, so I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
That
yeah,
man then
okay.
went off with a whatever injury. Didn't look very fit there on the bench after he went off.
That whole back line is just interchanging which leg is cramping and at what time in the game.
The
Is
Manchester
Evans gonna
United
start?
backline
Is
brought to you
the
by
lift gonna play
Elastoplast.
today? I don't know. Nah, but look at it's two back-to-back clean sheets, man. Let's leave the defense alone now.
True.
Mm,
And on that note, we shall leave you alone. Also, remember to like, subscribe, share, check it out, engage with us online, and yeah, bring the banter. Guys, thank you for your time. And we'll do this again next week.
cool.
Sweet.